Hi Sarah. I'm trying to fix this and move my father away. How are you? Okay. Yes, early today, and I wanted to know that right after iftar कितने लोग Instagram live पर आते हैं. But you do know that this is not the new us. The new us still happens at night. But right now we're doing the new series. Hence you see a different space. New us has a different space. New series which are called new series which are called Beyond Filters, and these are interviews that I'm doing with my favorite women on Instagram. These are women who made it big on Instagram, who are doing fantastic on Instagram. Not only that, I find their stories and their personalities very cool. So the person we have today is Hina J. Chima, and she runs a really cool account, and the account is called Story of Style. And if you are one of those who would want to take जो इंस्टाग्राम को बड़ा सीरियसली लेना चाहते हैं, if you want this to be a revenue source for you, I think no better person can guide you than Hina. So stick around. She's just asking a couple of questions. Let me give her answers to those questions before she comes on live. Okay. Are we still here? Yes. So Hina is trying to understand. Okay. I think she's done very less lives. I don't know how many of you successfully wasted my 2 minutes. Okay. I don't know what you're trying to say. So Hina is going to be with us today, and like I said, if Instagram is something that you want to take very seriously, then she's the woman. She's the woman you need to listen to. Very cool person. I'm just waiting कि उनकी request आए. Okay. So Story of Style joined, right? How do I? Now I have to send a request. I've done this before, and look at me, I'm also struggling. No, Hina, you need to send me a request to join the live while we figure out. Yay! In a couple of seconds. So like I was telling you, Hina has a really cool story. She'll tell you in detail herself, but gynecologist living in the US, and gave up her job basically so that she could volunteer all around the world. She thought कि मेरा काम जो है वो इतना sacred है और मुझे उसके साथ पैसे नहीं attach करने चाहिए. तो it was her dream कि एक दिन मैं ये काम मुफ्त में कर सकूं दुनिया भर के लोगों के लिए और मेरा source of income कुछ और हो. And she's done it wonderfully. Waiting. It says waiting for Story of Style. So you send me a request and I've accepted that request, and it should. What happened? is our oh no, can you do it one more time? So we'll just wait. Hina is trying to send the request one more time. How many of you are already her followers? I'd love to know, because when I announced it, some of you said, yay, very cool, knew all about her. Okay, so let me do this again. Accepted it, Hina. I hope it works now. Please connect.
Hey, I'm finally here. Oh my goodness. Wait, let me fix this. Oh my God, can you hear me?
I can. Let me just ensure my volume is the loudest. Okay. How are you?
I am good. I was trying to, dude, I've never done this before. So I
haven't really seen you do any of the lives. No,
I don't do lives, and then I don't know why I don't do them, but yeah, it's nice being here with you, dude.
Likewise. Thank you for making time for this. I know the time difference makes it very tricky.
Yeah, no, but I figured that, you guys are probably drinking chai right now. I am.
I'm gonna keep my mugga away. I was so happy, and I actually thought I was gonna say that because you're doing most of the talking.
It's okay.
So I'm not sipping this at all. So okay. Now, we've got lots lots of people here, and I have to do this properly. Okay, thank you so much for making time for this. And I have to tell you that I love your journey more than where you are right now. I think more than the destination. It's the journey that you've covered and how beautifully and authentically you do this every day.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
No,
But
genuinely means every word of it. Is that the new chandelier at the back? Because that's all we're seeing these days.
you know what? I have never revealed my home office because I still don't think it's done. This was the first room I got done. But
Really?
and Zaki did the wall, Zaki did the entire like woodwork on the wall. But I
Yeah.
just never revealed it because I still think there's something missing. And I just want to find that something.
Okay, so I'm not
Yeah.
going to push you on that. So, Hina, why don't you take us through your journey? I'd love to know, where in Pakistan are you from? I don't know this.
Yeah, so I am from Sargodha, and I went to the air base
Hello,
school.
एक minute. Did you say Sargodha?
Yeah.
Because I'm from there.
Really?
My parents Sargodha.
Oh my goodness.
Small world. Okay.
Yeah, it is a small world. So I grew up there. My dad was an MNA back in the day, and a political household, very different from what I was trying to do. And my family was very conservative. So yeah, it was quite a journey, and you couldn't do anything that would mar the family name, and you just had to be super like restricted in a lot of things, because in a lot of things that other people would do normally, like I couldn't do that because
Jैसे क्या? क्या?
just like I couldn't hang out past a certain time. I couldn't be seen with any male friend, even friends or class fellows. There are certain things that I just absolutely, I just figured that I had to do that in order to keep the good name of my family and not like give the media or other people reason to disrespect my dad or something like that. So yeah, so it was a little different, and it was very constricting. So when I went to med school, I went to med school in Lahore, and my sister was already like a year older, so she was in Fatma Jannah, and both of us had initially went to PMC, the Punjab Medical College, and then I moved. Both of us moved to FJ. Like I think there's a merit system that you can like. I forgot what it's called. Kuch tha aisa ki, ki you could go like you could move up. So we moved up, and yeah, my sister was amazing, like super smart, and I was complete like lalu. Like I would not study. I had no like interest in studying, and the only reason I went into medicine was just to prove it to other people that I can do it. So
I also read somewhere, I mean, on your feed, मुझे याद नहीं है, maybe I don't know if सही याद है कि नहीं.
yeah.
Something around that you wanted to be an interior designer and you wanted to prove it to your mother. कुछ ऐसा था?
You know what? My mom wanted me to be an interior designer. I wanted to go into medicine because हमेशा बचपन से ना मेरी आदत थी कि I just wanted to do things that people think I can't do. So I have to do the things that people think I can't do, even whether I like it or not. Like I'm going to do that. So and I think that I pretty much spent a lot of my life trying to do things for people. Because what इज्जत किससे मिलेगी, लोग किससे इज्जत देंगे, किस चीज से people will think I'm a big deal or I am more than my dad. Like I wanted to separate myself from what my dad was.
Right.
Like I loved my dad, and I had a lot of respect and still have a lot of respect for him, but I just didn't want to be known as his daughter. Like I wanted to be known for myself. Like I have done something in my life that people know me for me. So, so yeah.
And keep on following you know, because beach with the comments come because you haven't done this before. So I keep on reading some comments and then we go further. And would love to know ki kya hua when the Sargota girl goes to Lahore in a med school that she, you know, she thought she wasn't doing good. Okay, so Cakes by Zoya says, okay, thank you for all the love. I think all the pretty comments, I'm giving them to you because definitely. Oh my God, Manu says, oh my, you both look very similar, by the way. I have heard.
We actually, I thought the same thing. I think,
you know what? When I made the post, Munif, my husband said, why would you put your two pictures? I said, are you insane? I said, कोई नहीं इतनी हसीन जमील खातून को. So okay.
I think we look like we could totally pass for sisters.
Yeah. Dainty Days, I thought you were sisters. Okay, you guys look very much alike. Ariba, so you don't just look alike, you both belong to Sargota.
Listen, who knows? We were separated at birth or something, girlfriend.
Okay, so a lot of I thought you were sisters. Guys, you can keep on asking questions and I will pause the conversation in between and take your questions. Acha. So, you were in Lahore and you thought Behan bahut like and you weren't as good as the sister.
Yeah, Behan bahut like thi, and then I just went to med school, just वैसे, you know, and then I had nothing to do. पढ़ने का कोई शौक नहीं होता था मुझे. मेरी बस memory was really good. So towards the end, I would do the rabbit thing and just read things and stuff. So, so med school में, or my sister was like super smart. और मैं fun कर रही हूँ, बाहर जा रहे, याशी कर रहे हैं, you know, and just living your life. And then, and I was a backbencher. So yeah, and I had no plans what I was going to do after you know med school. सिर्फ एक plan था कि एक दफा my dad said कि there are very few female police officers, yani CSS and all that. I think he just had to say it once, ठीक है? तो मैंने बस तहैया कर लिया कि after med school I was going to do CSS to go in police, ठीक है? Just because one thing, and कोई interest नहीं था मुझे, लेकिन he said it and I was like, there are very few women, so I must do it, you know. So so yeah, that's a whole separate story. Anyways, one of the most interesting things is that I had anxiety, depression during med school because, you know, suddenly I had, you know, so much to do, so much to learn, and it took a toll on me, and it was something that I wasn't necessarily interested in at that time. And so yeah, I had to deal with that, and I couldn't even study. So my scores were not the best, but towards the end, like my final year, it's so funny that I was the only person who got 2 gold medals in 7 medical colleges.
Wow, and you've been telling this story कि मैं कितनी बुरी थी और मैं backbencher. You know, people like you who would give the exam and say बहुत बुरा, you know, बहुत बुरा हुआ.
I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
Girl, receiving the medals. I've always disliked.
I'm not like, but that's what I'm telling you. That anybody can do it when they put their mind to it. I never studied. My scores were bad in the first 4 years. Towards the final year, थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ा, लेकिन towards the end, I worked really hard in, you know, एक field. इतनी कोई बड़ी बात नहीं थी, ophthalmology थी. It was just interesting कि उस साल और किसी की distinction आई ही नहीं, किसी भी field में नहीं आई. तो उससे मैं highlight हो गई ना कि उनकी किसी और की आई.
I like
किसी भी चीज में नहीं आई. Yeah. So I still think that was funny. So even though I moved to US after, again, I got married बहुत जल्दी. So I moved to US. And
how old were you? Do you want to tell us how old were you when you got married?
मैंने final year खत्म किया था, and then one day my mom came up to me and said कि कल तुम्हारी मंगनी है. मैंने कहा किससे?
Like that? Wow.
Yeah. So she said, with Zaki, I thought you liked him or some, you know.
You knew Zaki.
Yeah, he was my. अब यहाँ पे मुझे पता अपने देसी लोग ही होंगे, गोरे तो मेरी गर्दन पकड़ ली थी जब मैंने कहा मेरे कजन है, तो वो तो लोग खा गए मुझे.
भाई से शादी कर ली. How can you do that?
I know. So I can be myself.
Totally. It's all this.
हाँ, तो ये कि वो हाँ कजन से शादी हुई, एंड यू नो कि पाकिस्तान में बहुत कॉमन है, लेकिन या उसके बाद यानी मुझे बताया, एंड आई the next day it was so sudden and I was like, I don't even have time to think about this, or I was crying, or my dad came up to me and he was like, we're going to send them back. Okay, I just want you to be happy, or we're going to send them back if you think. और उस वक्त, even though that I wasn't convinced कि we might be a good match, लेकिन I remember thinking, क्योंकि I'm a very obedient daughter, I'll tell you that. Yeah. So he just said, and I said, okay, what do you think? He said, mere khayal mein, and he listed all the good things that why he thought कि he would be really good for me, particularly me, and how he knew me. So I said कि, so there's nothing to think about it, you know, because if you think okay we will be compatible, or I tell you कि I'm very religious by heart. मुझे था कि if I listen to my parents, or if I do what my parents tell me to do and it makes sense to me, Allah would reward me. And Alhamdulillah, I have to tell you that Allah Ta'ala has not disappointed me. My husband, after we got our nikah, बहुत जल्दी से हुआ, and then my mom said to Zaki, he was driving, and she said कि Zaki, इस बेटी को मैंने 7 बच्चे थे हम, लेकिन I was my mom's favorite, तो she said कि she's my princess. इसको मैंने princess की तरह रखा है, इसको princess की तरह ही रखना है तुमने.
Wow.
So Zaki was so sweet. He said कि I would keep her like a princess, and he did, which बहुत साल, like I totally took advantage of my husband, which was not good, because I was super spoiled. I would do anything and he would do everything. और बंदा burn out कर जाता है, and I think that he kind of burned out a little bit. So yeah.
Mariam wants to know, Hina, that how old were you when you got married?
23.
23, okay. Certainly. So you got married and you moved to the States? Is that how it happened?
हाँ, क्योंकि Zaki was doing his degree. He was doing a PhD in computer science here at Virginia Tech. तो you know, I just came with him. Okay. And वो भी सारा उस वक्त मैं CSS की पूरी books, पूरा 1 महीना CSS की तैयारी कर रही थी उससे पहले, and suddenly trajectory change मेरी life की, and then I was like, now what do I do? And I had no plans. तो तब फिर मैंने it made sense to me कि USMLE is hard, people can't do it, so I must do it. फिर रेजिडेंसी की भी जब बारी आई तो मैंने यही सोचा कि व्हाट इज द हार्डेस्ट टू गेट इनटू, तो आईएमजीज के लिए कंपैरेटिवली ओबीजीवाईएन इज हार्डर टू गेट इनटू. बस माइंडसेट अजीब सा था कि बस वही करना है जो मुश्किल है. आई डोंट नो, यानी इट्स ऑलवेज बीन मी, और जो चीज बुरी लगती है वही करनी होती है मुझे, जस्ट बिकॉज आई नेवर वांट एनीथिंग टू ओवरपावर मी, this other thing has power over me, you know, that I don't like it. Like I didn't allow anything to have power over me. I don't know, like it was a different mindset, I guess. लेकिन उसमें ये हुआ कि even though I kept on climbing the stairs of success, I lost myself, you know. तो उसमें, and you know, I totally lost myself. I was depressed. मैं attending बन गई. I was training robotic surgery, जिस तरह बूढ़े uncle doctors को, I was teaching them robotic surgery. It's a heart surgery और वो सब कुछ. तो I was doing that, and it was fulfilling to me क्योंकि I ended up loving surgery. यानी एक चीज जो मुझे passion की तरह पसंद थी वो सर्जरी थी. तो I found my refuge in surgery. हमारे हमारी प्रैक्टिस में there were 7 providers. उसमें सिर्फ 2 surgeons थे, me and my partner, और other 5 providers. तो वो जो सारा लोड था सर्जरी का वो हमारे ऊपर आता था, which was amazing. I loved it क्योंकि this is exactly how I wanted my practice to be. यानी surgery जो है वो ज्यादा. तो anyways, yeah, so 2 to 3 years, नहीं, 2 years after practicing OBGYN, I was like, I'm stuck in a rut. Life was perfect. सब कुछ ठीक था, सब कुछ बहुत अच्छा था. हाँ, मैं सिर्फ 3 दिन काम करती थी. Zaki worked 2 days. तो one parent was always with the kids. That was our goal.
Awesome.
तो मैं पार्ट टाइम इसीलिए थी कि देयर मस्ट बी अ पेरेंट विद अ चाइल्ड. यानी हमारी वी जस्ट नेवर कॉम्प्रोमाइज्ड कभी भी कि बच्चे जो है वो कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो. तो yeah, life was perfect. People used to say, how come you guys got this perfect schedule, it's working out great. लेकिन I stopped being happy after, यानी मुझे लगा कि it's boring. It is, 2 साल.
Something was so much of your passion, something
Yeah.
which had become so much of passion, also started getting boring.
बोरिंग. लेकिन क्योंकि उसमें जो ओबी पार्ट, आई हेट टू से, क्योंकि मेरी पेशेंट्स, आई लव्ड माय पेशेंट्स, और मेरी ये आदत है कि जब मैं कोई चीज करती हूँ ना तो आई डू इट 100% वेदर आई लाइक इट और नॉट. तो आई वाज, मेरी रिव्यूज, मेरी ऑल दैट थिंग, वो माय पेशेंट्स लव्ड मी. एंड OBGYN जो obstetrics पार्ट था, प्रेगनेंसी और डिलीवरीज एंड ऑल, I wasn't a huge fan of that, I'll admit that. लेकिन I did it for the patients. इतना भी किया कि फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं ऑन कॉल नहीं हूँ, लेकिन मेरी पेशेंट डिलीवर कर रही है ना, एंड शी वांट्स मी देयर, I would go. In the middle of the night, I would go. सिर्फ because I felt a sense of responsibility and I really wanted to be there. So it's more of a, मुझे समझ आई कि ये फील्ड की बात नहीं है, ये ह्यूमैनिटी की बात है जितनी ज्यादा. क्योंकि माय फादर भी वाज एक्सट्रीमली philanthropic और बहुत उनको शौक था. तो इवन बचपन से he used to take us गाँव में and all that. तो he used to show us, बचपन से we developed that empathy कि there is so much hunger, there's so much poverty, and there's so much that we can give to others. So I felt that that's the human part of me that wants to do that for another human. It's not that I love doing this. I just love being there for another human. And I can do all of this by doing something else. Like I don't have to continue to do this. लेकिन मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही थी कि मैं इसमें से निकलूं कैसे.
Right. So we have some people joining from Philippines and other parts of the world. So we'll stick to English now a little more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but in the same process, this is the time that you became a mom too?
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, during my USMLE preparation, it took some time. I'm sure people want to know, but I've done a podcast and with somebody, so I can link it for people who would want to know the exact medical journey, because it might be boring for other people who are not non-medical, because that was very hard getting a residency in US.
Yeah.
So
so many
cousins
who shifted from the US to Pakistan just to do their residency because it's so difficult to get it there.
It is so difficult. So I that was when I went into depression. मुझे बार यानी I figured out that I really had an issue. I would go into depression, and it was suicidal depression. लेकिन I kept pushing without medications, which was wrong because I was miserable. लेकिन I was just pushing through. लेकिन ये कि I just lost my train of thought because I talk a lot. Once I start talking, you cannot stop me.
I love listening. So you were telling us that you came to a point, so you've become a mother and come to a point in your career where you think this is it. I want to do something else, and you've realized that it's more the empathy that you feel that can be translated to any other work.
Yes, and the thing is, I felt that all this time I have put myself on the side. And I was like, I'm not going to live like that my entire life. I'm not going to be 70 and delivering babies, because there were some attendings who were doing that. And I was like, I was horrified, and I was just because I wasn't that interested in the obstetrics part of it. I love gynecology, but I didn't like obstetrics. So the thing is, at that time, I just randomly one day, Zaki accepted a job in Texas because we had long-term plans of moving to Texas. The weather was better. There was a better Muslim community, Desi community. We just wanted to be there, weather and the community. And good malpractice laws. So yeah, uh, he got the job because both of us were working, so we had to make sure that both of us had a job there, and it's not easy to find a job at the same time. And he since he's a professor, he's a computer science professor, it is difficult. His jobs are difficult to come by because those jobs are so like amazing, because they only have to uh, he only has to work like 2 days a week, and then he's off for 6 months in a year, because like a professor, so it's just so amazing that
So
you
awesome.
don't get that. Yeah, there are very few spots and they get filled up fast. So it opened up and I told him, go. Like, because we've always wanted to move, go. And he was like, what are we going to? He didn't want to go, but I pushed him and I was like, you go, because we have a long, I'll make it happen. So that was very hard. I'm an OBGYN. I have 2 children. We have no family. And I've sent my husband to a completely different state, like 3 hours flight away. And now I have to do all these things by myself. So what I did, I think I overloaded myself with even more work, because Zaki wasn't there at night. I was like, okay, I can't sleep. What am I going to do? So I would spend hours on Instagram. Just randomly, I started an Instagram account because Hamesha se mujhe shocked. I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. I love fashion. I love traveling. I love all these things. So all these things that I love, I can put it in an account and go back and look at those pictures and enjoy it. Like, I really wanted to have a place for all those pretty pictures and all those good things that made me happy. So it was during that difficult time that I started that. And I think I was on Instagram for like, my account was only a month old when I started getting bored, and I was like, you know what? Instagram is way more than what I think it is.
Oh, really? I thought maybe the epiphany came that's a waste of time. No.
No, क्योंकि मुझसे हो ही नहीं रहा था. 1 month of, I think, 7 to 8 hours a day I was spending on building my Instagram, और मुझसे हो नहीं रहा था. It was, I think, by the end of 1 month I had 1,000 followers and I wasn't happy. क्योंकि मैंने अपने mind में ये रखा था, and it's not about the follower count. I just wanted कि if I'm putting out good content, I want to share it with somebody. यानी ये कि जंगल में मोर नाचा के इसने देखा.
Alamia, look at my Instagram profile. I have done so much service. Why not? Yeah.
So yeah, the thing is, it's because it's fun to be able to share it with people. I think that's why people love social media, because you're sharing it with others. You guys are sharing things like, even now when I do stories, I love getting other people's opinion. What are you thinking? I'm thinking this, and it's lovely to be able to do that with other humans.
So 1 month into it, you thought there's something more.
Yeah, I was like, dude, like everybody is trying to grow, because I wanted to grow for different reasons so that I could share all my stuff. But then I noticed that people were actually trying to make it a business, and I was like, why? Why are people trying to make it a business? Like, is it really financially is it really worth doing? Is it really worth doing? And I was like, okay, so I need to find why people are getting so crazy. So tab mujhe, like, I think I started to understand that people were doing, there were certain methods of growing people were using. They were doing giveaways, they were doing a lot of other things. So I think second month into it, I figured out, you know what, I need to run my own giveaway or something. I need to give people something. And I figured out, us time, I totally don't recommend them right now, but that was how my journey started. I was like, everybody's trying to grow on Instagram, and um, I'm trying to grow as well, and it's very hard to grow. What can I do to serve the people like me? कि मेरे जैसे जो लोग हैं who are trying to grow, what can I do for them and benefit from it myself too? So I figured out if I do shout outs with celebrities, like I started hiring, I think my second month into Instagram, I started reaching out to big celebrities and offering them like monetary, compensation for doing shout outs for people. So I figured that doing a shout out and doing a giveaway through a celebrity will get other people followers. So I would gather like 40 to 50 people, and those were the what we called secret giveaways. Nobody else knows how you're growing so fast, but then the celebrity is running a giveaway, and the celebrity is shouting out all these people probably, yeah, running out. So yeah, so I did that, and
This
it
was
was amazing.
your
Like,
this was the digital company that you started, right? So
yeah,
I mean,
that's
this,
how I started.
I'm a person, and I reach out to you and I say, listen, I'm
Yeah.
struggling with this, and you say I'm gonna get XYZ celebrity to do a shout out for you, and I have to pay you, so you pay them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I started doing that. While I was doing that, then obviously it was a business, and the business did really well. We like reached 1 million in sales in 9 months. So the business aspect of it did really well. So I'm telling you, that's why I was like, why are people so crazy about growing? There must be something to Instagram. And as I grew with those shout outs, the thing is, I was still putting out content. I was running this business, and my husband was still away in Dallas, and I was still doing all these things together. But the thing is, over time, in those 9 months, I understood I'm making money, people are growing, but there is no like, people are not invested in you, they're still leaving you, because they came to you from an XYZ celebrity, they weren't really interested in you, and I just figured out that was the wrong move. Like, just turn it back and stop. So I shut off the business because I understood from my own experience that it wasn't really helping an account. So it was more like a sham. So if it isn't helping an account, then I don't believe in it anymore. And when I don't believe in it, believe in something anymore, I can't sell it. I don't want to sell it to people if I don't believe in it. So when I thought that this was harmful for an account, I stopped doing it, and then I completely shut down that business. And after that, I started really focusing on the account, and I tried million different things. Like, now I was focused on how am I going to, grow and make this work, and and I still hadn't understood why people were crazy about Instagram. I think a few months of really working very hard on my account, I got acquired by a management agency. I had an interview with them, and I think that is key, like getting the attention of a management agency, because the agency will bring work to you, and they will negotiate, even though that you end up paying the company like 20% of whatever they bring to you. Whatever they bring to you is so much that even after giving them 20%, you're still at a very good spot. I'm very open about this journey. Nobody talks about it because nobody wants you to get the piece of that cake,
And I think that the pie is so large, like everybody can have a huge chunk of the cake, but you're so right. I think when it comes to the Instagram and the social media, it's so hard to
there are more brands than there are influencers right now, and the thing is, every brand has a different strategy, every brand is different, And you don't even have to, it depends on how you want to use your social media influence. You want to use it for good, you just want to, like, I'm not going to judge people, but when I see, when I was first starting, I was doing fashion because I like doing it, and I just started doing it, and I was like, I don't, when I'm scrolling through, okay, I like a picture of somebody in a nice outfit, but is it serving me? Like, I don't care what you're wearing. Like, great, it looks good on you, but uh, I'm not interested. So I was like, what am I giving to other people? Like, myself? Look at me, So I felt that that was not me, that wasn't the person that I was, and I wasn't really feeling it. So I was like, I'm a writer. I like writing. I like connecting with people. So I started writing, and I started writing about my journey, my life, and things that could help people who are in the same shoes as I was. Like, I was a doctor who had, come from a foreign country to do that. So I had people who were foreign medical graduates who could benefit from me. I had Desi people, I had Desi moms who could benefit from me. And then just general, life principles that I believed in. And I thought that if I could share it with people, I mean, that is helpful to them.
So you said you took on an agency. How early in your Instagram journey did you do that? I mean, if we define the journey by number of followers,
One year.
1 year.
But you
How many followers do you think you had then when you got agency?
I'll tell you what, I grew very fast because of those shout outs.
Ah, okay.
I grew very fast, but that following wasn't serving me. Like, I didn't feel connected to people, and the people didn't feel connected to me. So I was losing followers in chunks because they didn't care about me,
Yeah.
you know, and they didn't want me. Like, if the celebrity was doing a giveaway, is a white woman who is a bikini model. If her followers come to me, they ain't gonna see bikini.
And there's a namaz accountability going on.
So they're not going to get bikini from me. So they're not interested.
Yeah.
And I'm not a model. Yeah.
And prayer accountability scare them.
Yeah. So I mean to say that that was the wrong method that I employed, but I was learning.
Yeah.
It was a journey because there's no book out there's no course out there that actually teaches you how to do this thing because it's so new.
Yeah.
And so it took me time understanding what works and what doesn't. A lot of people sometimes say, and people weren't happy, like there were a lot of Desi influencers at that time because I've suddenly grew, and in 6 to 8 months I had a really good footing in the influencer world, and people weren't having it because it's so hard to do. And I was like, you're mad at me because I was smart. But the thing is, joking aside, I learned that was the wrong method, but then people are still mad at me. People were mad at me. People were like trying to unfollow all these like Desi and it was the Desi influencers. Like, other people really didn't care, but the thing is that some Desi influencers just weren't happy. And the thing is, they started a whole social media war. So that's a that's a whole other thing that people need to understand, that when you're coming on social media, get ready for negativity, get ready for mass cyberbullying, and that can be very damaging. And during that time, even though that people did that, I'm a very strong woman, but the thing is, things like this do affect you, I'm not going to lie. And the kind of person I am, like, all this love that I've gotten all my life from my patients, and I was in a loving role. Like, I was a doctor, I was healing people, I was getting love. So I wasn't used to getting hate. Suddenly, people think I'm this evil person, and I'm like, really? Am I?
somebody just wrote, Hina, that, they've been following you for a long time and they're on my Instagram. She said, Upar chala gaya comment that I've been following Hina for a long time, but I am seeing her humility today. So you're right. Maybe that's although I think I've always seen that, and that's why I reached out to you. But so the hate comes along with it. That's definitely something to keep an eye on. And all of this is happening while your husband is in Texas and you're in another state. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the business was separate from Instagram because I was creating content, I was running the business, I was doing my OBGYN job, I was shuttling my kids to and fro in snow, which would take 2 to 3 hours to get to their school, come back, get to my job. I was overworked to the extreme, and I brought it upon myself, Yeah. But I told you that I'm the kind of person that I thrive in adversity. Like adversity is my jam. Like if I don't like it, I'm going to be good at it, So I don't like being alone. I'm going to be good at it, I'll just utilize that time.
Awesome.
It seems good, but it was very damaging for me.
Internally, yeah.
It did so much damage that I went into severe depression to the point that I could not come out of it. And I had to be on medications. And because you can't overwork yourself without getting a break and having, you can't do that. So I did that, and it was very damaging. And what happened during that time that my husband was away and all of those things that happened, I had a very hard, and I believe that if only somebody is a physician is when they can understand what I went through. And I don't think I can talk about it. Yeah. I thought that I could, but it's still affecting me. I think I'll cry if I start talking about it.
But so it was something that you went through, or you saw somebody else.
I was just like, I'll just take the emotion out of it and don't ask me any questions.
Okay.
But the thing is, I had a very hard, because I told you that obstetrics part is hard for me. Like I didn't really like it. And one of the things that I didn't like it was because of the potential of damage to the baby that can happen. And I hated pediatrics because I never wanted to see kids in pain. So you put me in obstetrics, and a person who is a humanist and who literally, like, it would crush them if something happened to anybody, So, and then seeing somebody else in pain is hard enough, but then being the one to cause the pain is like insane. It's crazy. And I feel like as physicians, we go through so much. Goodness gracious, I probably need my meds. Like, I can't do this. So yeah.
Okay. So we move on from this. So you had that incident. We understand. Yeah.
And at that time, I quit my job. Zaki had come back for summer. I quit my job for like 6 weeks because I went through what's called PTSD. And I was still posting. I will send you a screenshot of my Instagram when I went through this most heart-wrenching experience of my life. And I was still doing it. Like, that was insane. Like, I don't know why I was doing it.
Your Instagram was perfectly looking even then. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it was my refuge from reality. Like, it was something that I could detach myself completely from what really is happening in my head to make a sense out of my life, So, yeah. And at that time, I quit the same day that happened because I was like, I can't take it. And I went into PTSD, which you must have heard that people who go to war go through PTSD, or people who have been raped or things like that.
Extreme trauma.
It's not that I was weak. It's because that was
my... you were human.
And that was my weakness. Maybe it may not have, and I can tell you that it would affect people, because when I went through it, another senior physician, he was 70 plus, he came up to me and he held my hands and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was fine. Like, I never cry in front of people. Like, I am all like strong and good, and I am dead inside. And I went to the call room and I broke down. Nobody knew, but I broke down. And I was like, this has happened to me. And I'll tell you, because now I can separate my emotions from it. It was a shoulder dystocia, which means that the shoulder of the baby getting stuck while coming out. I'll tell you that I graduated from a residency program that was 95th percentile on volume. That means we were very well trained in high risk and hard deliveries and all of that. And I was very confident on how I can manage all these things. And I had, whenever during residency, I was a chief resident, which means that everybody chose that one top resident, and that was me during the senior year. A lot of attendings would call me when they had a bad shoulder dystocia. Suddenly, they would be calling out for me because I was good at this.
So this is something which happens a lot. The shoulder.
Not a lot, but it can happen, and it can be very damaging. Yeah, it can kill the baby, it can kill the mom, it can destroy a lot of things. It's very hard when it happens. It's hard because you feel helpless, and it's God's will as well, you know. But the thing is, you feel responsible. So this baby got stuck, and I was confident, and I was always confident about this. It wasn't that I was overconfident. I utilized all the maneuvers that I knew. There are quite a few maneuvers that you do. And the baby wouldn't come out. And I was like, okay, relax. The nurses were starting to panic, and I wasn't panicking. Second round, I called for additional help because you usually do that. There are protocols. And I did all of that. And the baby just would not come with all the help that was there. And the thing is, and I don't want to talk about it because this could be a medical legal issue, but another attending that was called, I didn't think he did what you do in such situations, like a maneuver. Like, he did a different maneuver, like, which I'd never seen. Like, it doesn't exist in textbooks. So it took the baby out, but the baby had bilateral nerve injuries, because when you twist the neck, so the baby's neck, like the sides, were stretched and injured because of the maneuver that other attending utilized. And Alhamdulillah, and with the grace of God, the nerve injuries that the baby had were recovered, because the kind of injuries that you have will be 60 to 80% will be recovered by like 6 months or 8 months, because nerves have, you know, capacity to heal. But the thing is, at that moment in time, when that baby came out, and secondary to nerve injury, how your arms are twisted, one look at the baby, I knew what had happened because of how his arms were. And I lost it because I kept thinking about Yusuf. You know, it was a boy. And I was like, I don't know, I just couldn't separate my child from this other child. And I felt so responsible, even though that would have happened anyways, whether I was there or not. But as a human being, I felt responsible. Like, I took complete responsibility of that. I think I took responsibility to a point that I like went into like severe guilt, and I started having dreams like from that day onwards. And that's what happens in PTSD. I would see that baby's nerves snapping like in my head. Like I would see dreams, and I would see the same thing repeating over and over again in my dreams. And that I wouldn't sleep, because I was like, if I go to sleep or I close my eyes, that image comes to my head. So yeah, that's hard, I know. And I feel like
was that the decision-making moment for you regarding your practice, or what?
you know what? I was waiting for a moment. I knew that there had to be a moment like this when
Yeah.
I would quit. And in my head, even from the start, I knew that I'm not completely interested. And this is why in obstetrics, because I never want to be here where I was at that moment in time. And I knew it was an unreasonable expectation that I would never be in that spot, because
Yeah.
all physicians are going to be in that spot at one point. And the thing is, but I knew that if I was in that spot, that was the moment that I would leave. Like, I think my mind was conditioned, that's why I quit. But then my partner and all of that, they came to me, and I took a break for 6 weeks, and then I went back. And
Okay.
during those 6 weeks, what I started doing is, I thought that my practice was too light, and maybe I need to be in a more intensive program. So I started applying for jobs at crazy rural hospitals where they would work me to death. And I started applying there. I even went for an interview. Like, this is how it works with me. When I'm in the most pain, that's exactly what I want to do to overcome that pain, so that it no longer pains me, you know.
So there's a bigger pain that you can focus on, and the minor pains can hide away.
Yeah. So the thing is, I started applying, and then I it didn't work out. I actually applied for a job, and I thought that I would get it. I was 100% sure, but then it just didn't work out for us. And but then I was like, okay, I will continue doing this. And but my heart had completely left me. I just noticed that I was so, like, deathly afraid of something like that happening again. And myself, like, me going through that and witnessing the pain of another, I was like, I'm not going to do this, I can't. So, and this is where the humanity or humanitarian aspect of my life comes in, because now I still want to do this, but I want to do it for God. Because if I know that wherever I would go, they don't have that facility, but I would be giving them. So it holds a deeper meaning in my heart rather than just being there or doing something. So even though that there is a potential for the same pain, I know that there's another thought that they would not have had this if I was not here.
And there would be no worse condition. So what
Yes.
happened after the 6 week break? Did you move to Texas? How long were you? How long were you and Zaki
Yeah,
separate?
no, we were. Yeah, that that was back in 2018. That was not even a year that I had started my Instagram. And I think I got acquired by the company like 2 to 3 months after that. Like, I got acquired, and like, the management company. And at that time, I started doing, like, fun stuff. Like, we did some H&M shoot or something fun, and about that showcased our family and my journey and all those things. So that was interesting. But yeah, I think I'm veering off the tangent, and most people would be more interested in not
No,
the.
no, no. My question, no. I think we had a little delay. My question was, how? When did you join Zaki in Texas? We'll keep the Instagram story side by side. But when did
last
you?
year
Yeah,
last year when I quit medicine. So
last year.
last year, so
How
2019.
long were you guys separated? How long were you living in different? 2
2 years.
years. Oh, and you only moved when you had completely decided to quit.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So while the time that you were doing your Instagram, so you got on a break,
Yeah.
6 week break, and then you went back to the same work.
Yeah, I
Oh,
did
you
for a
did.
whole
Oh,
year. For
for
an
a whole
entire
year.
year, I did that. And yeah, but my practice had scaled back. Like, it was scaled back more. I was doing more surgery rather than that. But yeah, but in my head, I knew that I just had to just leave it and do what
So
I
we'll
really
just
want to do.
close on this little experience here,
Yeah.
Hina, and thank you so much. This is a hard one. We've got somebody here who says, all respect to OBGYNs out there, my baby had a shoulder dystopia. These were the longest minutes of panic and remain the longest
Yeah.
3 minutes of my life. I will ever be always so grateful for those two OBGYNs. And somebody else said, please don't let one experience define you. You're awesome at what you do. And I think
Oh,
we know that.
That's
Yeah,
true.
okay. Okay. So you went back, you did a whole year, and side by side, your Instagram empire is setting up.
Yes. So yeah, so I started focusing and I loved sharing my journey with people that because I
Was
loved
it,
writing.
sorry, I'm cutting you, but was it a decision? Because I know for so many of women, men out there, it's a decision that should I
Yeah.
put up my family? Do I put my children's faces, or do I only put their backs? You know, did it cross your mind ever? No.
No, because my kids will be walking around in a store and mall and people would be looking at them. Like even like a million people look at my kids when they go out, you know.
Yeah.
So it never crossed my mind.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Because I know some parents have that concern with
No, I
that.
totally respect that. I
Yeah.
understand that they may be coming, yeah, they and everybody has their own reason.
Everybody has their own.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
just
that's how the Instagram empire grew in that 1 year.
it did. I wouldn't even call it an empire. It's a loving community because these are people who have I've shared a lot of these experiences, even the shoulder dystocia I shared very like subtly, and I've shared the pain of the moments, and because I can write really well when I'm in pain or something, so I used to share that, and people did resonate with it because your pain may be different from mine, but you will be in pain at some point in your life, you know.
I
So
think
and
that's
then
true vulnerability when you're able to share that. I think that's where the real connection happens.
yeah, I do feel that vulnerability makes you more human rather than me wearing an outfit and just showing it off to people, you know. So I feel that people need to, you know, see the human side of you and connect with you and maybe share their own experiences. There have been people and I've loved it because I love helping people. Right now, I mean people I've gotten like I get 2000 plus. Recently, I started getting from a TikTok, and I just I couldn't keep up with it. I really appreciated that, but I couldn't like reply to people because it became a little overwhelming. But things that people have shared with me, their stories of rape, their stories of domestic violence, and the things that I've been able to help people with because they were willing to, they thought that I would understand their pain, you know. And
Yeah.
then I was able to help them. Like I was able to send them to the appropriate places and, you know, help them. So yeah, so it's been a very like I would never change a thing about this Instagram journey or my entire life journey. I wouldn't, because life is a process and it is a journey, and you have to do things and try things to see what works for you and what doesn't. And it's not going to be another person's experience teaching you. You would have to experience it yourself in order to make your own, you know, decisions.
So, yeah, awesome. We might get disconnected. If we do, I think Instagram allows for a certain time, and if we get disconnected,
Yeah.
we'll come on live again because it's showing me on a timer. So I want to talk about. So you moved to Texas only a year back. 2 years you were separate, and then you moved,
Yeah, two
and
years.
then you lived there for a little time. I think that's where I started following your journey a little earlier than that because then the move to Dallas came.
Oh, that's Dallas is in Texas.
Oh, of course. Acha, theek hai. Sahi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, no, because why am I saying that? Because I read that you said that, my family has decided to move with me
Yeah,
and they move wherever I move. So I thought, okay, maybe your
yeah.
husband has also moved.
I think,
Walk us through that.
yeah, but the thing is, my husband is a professor, so he can really move around during summer and the vacations and the kids during the vacation. So our thought was that I would go and volunteer while the kids were on vacation and my husband was on vacation. So we could actually, they could do something and I would volunteer. And that's why I went to Africa, like in the summer. So yeah.
Okay.